East Van Stories podcast with Sean G, episode 69, How to Buy Stuff in the Hood. What's up, everybody? This is Sean G, East Van Stories podcast, another episode. I'm discussing today about how to buy stuff in the hood, whether it be drugs or stolen merch. Disclaimer, I'm not advising you to do this. I'm just giving a hypothetical, like, real life scenario, like, from my lived experiences. I'm not advising you to go out and buy drugs. Of course not. I'm not advising you to go out and buy stolen merchandise. I'm just saying if you're in the streets or you're involved in that life or you do drugs or you buy that kind of stuff like that, I'm just saying hypothetically what you should and shouldn't do in the hood of East Vancouver, okay? Again, don't do it. I'm not advising you to go do it. I'm just saying if you're already involved in that kind of stuff, here's what you do, I think, right? And if you're a newbie to the East Vancouver and you're not from here, right? What you want to do first thing is if you can afford it, get yourself a cab, okay? Say you're from out of town, wherever you're from. Say you're from Winnipeg, Calgary, fucking Alberta, like anywhere, Edmonton, fucking Ontario, you know what I mean? Newfoundland, you know what I mean? Fucking Halifax, wherever, right? But you do drugs and you're new to the city, but you know about East Vancouver because it's legendary for drugs, right? What you want to do is get yourself a cab. If you're out here looking for drugs, right? We'll say first one. What you want to do is get yourself a cab. Go down to these are the spots. Main and Hastings. Tell the cab driver to take you to Main and Hastings, right? And you go to Main Hastings if you're looking for crack cocaine, right? You can get methamphetamine, heroin, and fentanyl there, right? But what you want to do is you pull a cab over, give them a $20 bill, tell them just you'll be back in a couple minutes. You peep the scene, you walk around, you size people up, and you look for people that are in clean, nicer clothes. They look about younger. They got their shit together. They look clean cut, and those are the younger, like the addicts. I mean the dealers that are not addicts, and they're the ones that are out there selling. You ask them, "Are you working?" Right? And they'll tell you yes. And usually they'll point you out to an addict worker of theirs, and they'll have what you have, right? Always try to go for the clean cut person, the person in the tracksuits, the nice new clothes, because those are the real dealers that don't have addiction problems, and you're probably not going to get bunked or robbed by them, right? But what do you do if they're not around? You don't see no clean cut people, right? And the first place at Main Hastings, like I said, try to find peep the scene again, pull the cab over, get out, peep the scene, try to find an addict out of the attic if it's just addicts around, right? No clean cut people you see that are just like they seem like they're the ones that are the popular one. You know what I mean? They're the ones that are look they have everybody around them kind of like doing little things for them or quote unquote kissing their ass. You know what I mean? And they they look like they're the ones like that got a little bit of pull out of the junkies. You know what I mean? In that vicinity, those are the ones that usually are the addict dealers. They usually are the ones that you want to buy from if the clean cut people are not around. And also, this is something else to look for too. If there's no the clean cut people like younger looking dealers around, what you want to do is look for a scooter. If they got a scooter, that means usually they got a little bit of bread usually, right? And if they have people around them, like, you know what I mean, and they're getting high and shit like that, and people are kind of like, you know what I mean, doing little stuff for them, like, you know what I mean, one guy's running to the store for them, or, you know what I mean, you just notice that everybody wants this guy's attention. That's usually the addict dealer. That's the one that's got his shit together the most, pretty much, and you go to him to buy your dope, right? Same thing if you go down just the block to, Insight, right? Insight is the block where there's fentanyl and methamphetamine, right? And that is across you from this video you're seeing right here. It's across the street. But on this block too, if you're there, you want to go for like the addict that looks like he's the popular one that's got a little bit of a shit together. He might be wearing a decent tracks or something like that, but you could tell in his face he's a junkie or something like that, right? Or he's hunched over or whatever, right? you usually want to just buy off those people and the clean cut people. But the first person you want to buy from is the clean cut, younger, or not even younger, but the dealer that doesn't look like he uses, because that's when you're not going to get robbed from, and that's just a fact, right? Okay, and you do the same thing at Insight, where there's fentanyl and methamphetamine. That's where you're going to go for the fentanyl and methamphetamine. If you want crack, you go up to, and cocaine, pretty much, you can go up to Main Hastings, but it is fucking sketchy. I'm just saying, it is sketchy, and there's a lot of people bunking people and ripping people off on Main and Hastings. That shit's really not happening too much at Insight, but you're not gonna be able to get, it's very hard to actually get crack at Insight, where that person is standing right now, like in front of that Insight thing. It's just, there's not available. You have to go down the street to Carroll and Hastings. Okay, Carroll and Hastings. Remember that block? That is where they have everything. Speed, coke, right there. This block right here that you're seeing on the screen. That's where you go to get this Carroll and Hastings. This is where you get your crack, heroin, fentanyl, speed, cocaine, all that shit, right? And that's also what you call the merch block if you're looking for stolen stuff, right? But like I said, and also a quick thing, sometimes you can actually hit a gold mine getting buying off an addict dealer, surprisingly or not, because usually these guys think, half of these motherfuckers think they're Chef Boyardee and they're cooking up their own fentanyl. If you're into buying fentanyl, right, and they usually are fucked up, and they end up, they think they're Chef Boyardee, like I said, and they cook up their own fentanyl, so they actually sometimes have more product on them than the normal street dealer that doesn't use and shit like that, right? And the normal street dealer, you're just gonna get, like, sometimes they'll hook you up, but you're mostly gonna get what you pay for. And same with a lot of addict dealers, you're mostly gonna get what you pay for, or a little bit under. But sometimes you hit a gold mine, and some addict dealers that have their shit together, that cook their own stuff, or sell a lot of dope, but they're just addicts. Like, all the addicts buy off them or whatever, right? They can hook you up sometimes fat the first couple times you buy off them. Like, you might get way more than what you're supposed to, because they want you to repeat customer and come back, right? So, yeah, that's what you want to do. And if you're if you're looking for stolen stuff like that, okay, you want to go down to Carroll and Hastings, like I just mentioned. Carroll and Hastings is the merch block. That's where you get stolen stuff from, and meat is half price, remember, and everything else is a third of the price. And if you're looking for electronics, like cell phones, do not buy a cell phone down there more than $20. I don't give a fuck what they say. And always try to, when you're buying stolen stuff like that, remember that you, like, peep the scene too. Peep the person that's selling it. If they look like they're a junkie or an addict or whatever, you can always play hard to get with them. And they say $30 for that cell phone. You say, oh well, fuck, man, I only got $20, and 9 times out of 10 they're gonna take that $20 and fuck the $10, because they need that money to get dope, right? So you can always try to you finesse them a little bit out of that kind of shit, right? And remember, if you're gonna buy something from a stolen property, on that merch block, it is cheap, but it does come with a disclaimer. You probably might have a tracker on it if it's a laptop or a fucking cell phone or whatever, and you might get the person that really owns it running up on you saying, "Give me back my shit," and you might have to try to tell them, "Hey man, I paid for this already. You might need to give me some bread, okay?" But yeah, uh, that's pretty much it for buying stuff in the hood. That was my advice. Again, a disclaimer, I'm not saying go to do that. I'm just saying, if you are involved in those things, like you like to get high and you like to buy stolen shit, those are my advice. If you're not from East Van, what to do, okay? Alright. And I got something else I really want to talk to you guys about. This is kind of important. This is something new that I'm doing. I get a lot of calls and a lot of emails about asking questions about addiction and stuff like that, right? Listen, I've lived a life for 20 fucking years. I sold drugs. I did drugs. I know how addicts think. I know how they feel. I know what inside and out the life, okay? Unfortunately, because, you know what I mean? I'm not glorifying it. I'm just saying I've lived a life. I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist, okay? But I am offering real life experiences suggestions, okay? It's called Real Talk Sessions with Sean G, okay? I'm just offering a real honest opinion and suggestions of what to do if you have somebody that you know and love, a friend, or be it a boyfriend, girlfriend, a mother, father, uncle, or a friend, like, you know what I mean, like a best friend, a cousin, whoever is suffering from addiction problems, and you need suggestions, or you need to just talk to somebody, you know what I mean, and just have a real conversation with somebody that's lived that life, and they could give you some suggestions and their opinions about it, and you need help with that. I'm offering those things. 15-minute calls at $20, and 30-minute calls for $50. Okay? So please, serious inquiries only. And like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, but I've lived this fucking life for 20 years, close to 20 years. I know how they think, I know how they feel, I know what they're gonna say, I know what they're gonna lie about, I know everything about this kind of stuff pretty much, man. So I can offer my honest lived experiences and try to help people the best I can. Okay? There's more information in the description. Please email me at shaungibson at 828 gmail.com, or call me at 236 622 7610. Thank you very much.